Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to another episode of Fireplace Chats with Jack. I'm Jack Talcott, here to help you face and overcome some fears you might have. I was outside in the cold again, enjoying the peace of the moment. A quiet winter day, cold and brisk, beautiful. That cold helps you feel alive, and that got my mind to thinking. Brutal honesty, the cold, hard truth. How important that is in our lives. See, the truth, man. To understand what is going on in the world and to understand yourself, you got to seek what is true. And man, when you start learning the truth can bring you to your knees. This reality of ours, yeah, there's suffering, there's joy, there's drama, there's comedy. So, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with this world that, for those who have learned of the Bible, those who have faith in that book, even at the time of Jesus, they talked about how the world was already ruled by Satan. Satan, the Lord of lies, the father of deception, the illusionist, the master manipulator, that which uses fear and oppression for control. It's like a fairy tale, man. We're living through a fairy tale, but it's actually kind of a horror story for many. I see the news. So we were born into a world of lies that has historically, I'm speaking as an American because that's what I know. We were born into a society that has historically profited from trauma and oppression. I've said it before, the deceived have raised the confused, and we today, the adults of this society, we are the confused who are still enabling the deception. What do you mean deception, Jack? What are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the news. I'm talking about your politicians. I'm talking about the experts who are getting paid a lot of money to say things that, you know, you could say it's true, I guess. we world, we, Speaking from experiences, I used to live a life with a lot of excuses, a lot of blame. And that blame made me feel pretty angry. Anger is what fueled me on for a long time. But I've come to a point in my life where I've humbled myself to what is true. And as I said, the truth can bring you to your knees, but let me tell you what, the truth is what will keep you going. Truth and knowledge is how the human species has evolved. It's right in front of our faces. So I'm kind of a guy who I point out the obvious. It seems I didn't realize that was my knack until my gift until more recently. But I've been trying to figure out who I am. Who's this guy, Jack Talcott? Why does he think and say the things that he does? Because he wants to, I guess. So let me bring this perspective back to where I was at outside. I was appreciating seriously the beauty of the cold of Mother Nature. And the fact that I could go inside to a nice warm shelter was not lost on me. I'm very, very grateful at where I'm at in this point of history and in my life. I'm very grateful. And gratitude is what I want to try and get you to kind of see too. If you can find more gratitude in your life, just seek what is true. Become brutally honest with yourself. Okay? That's the only way we're going to change this world is when people choose to become brutally honest with themselves and each other. So, what does that mean, brutally honest? What's it mean to be brutal, cold hearted, right? Callous, no feeling. We don't have to be brutally honest in physical ways, but emotionally and spiritually, it's the only way we're going to heal. The only way confusion can be overcome is when people admit that they've been defending their confusion, that what they first thought was right. Oh shit, well, it turned out I was wrong. I've had to do that a lot in my life. But it feels so good not to worry anymore. And this is what I realized, thinking about these thoughts for this video, brutally honest, and the things I put myself through, the traumas I created and imagined in my mind, the unnecessary tears, and you know what? It was all lessons for me to learn. So I had this thought earlier as well. People either love me or hate me. If they love me, they usually admire me. If they hate me, they got plenty of reasons to judge me. So either way, love me or hate me, pay attention. Please listen to my words. Because if you love me, I love, and I'm sharing lessons I've learned. I've accomplished and overcome a lot of things in my past. I'm kind of proud of at some of the victories I've imagined for myself. And if you don't like me, pay attention to my words. I'm an honest man and I'll share all my flaws. I'll share all the things I've learned and I'll become a great example for you to say, hey, don't be like him. Don't do things he did. Because that's who I am. I'm just like you. We're all examples for each other. We're all reflections of consciousness, of the spirit of this time that we are sharing together. Do you know that we're making history today? Together, you and me? Today is a new point in history. Nobody is doing what we're doing today the way that we're doing it. Yet there's nothing new under the sun. It's a paradox. It's a game. It's fun. Life was imagined for us, came into existence somehow. And the past of our experience, it brought us to here. And so what is here? What is now? What does that mean? What do we do? Why are we here? So many questions, man. But see, that's where the search for the truth kicks in. We've actually got the infinite consciousness. We've got the intelligence within us, but it's like it's not really activated until we observe it from outside or we seek it through inspirations or desires. So our our lives were imagined for us to imagine and to create. I don't like what we were born into, to be honest. I don't think human beings should have to pay money to live or to learn. I've heard a lot of fairy tales about communities where, you know, Lots of people I know have imagined the same thing of having communities where kids could be raised by the community, right? Where we all look out for each other. We all help each other improve and perfect our own lives. And if we become brutally honest, I think that's the only way we're going to survive. I mean, if you look at the news, there's a lot of agendas that others have been planning. There's a lot of oppression, there's a lot of manipulations of our currency, of the logistics, of the. I think it's time for us to rewrite the rules. To rewrite the rules, we've got to become honest, and that's got to be the number one rule. I encourage you, whoever listens to these words, do a self examination, go within your mind, within your heart. Find the places where you've in the past made excuses, where you've imagined blame. And if you can be brutally honest with yourself and say, no, I ain't blaming anyone. This is all my fault. I accept full accountability. Nobody else. I could have done better. I could have done something different. And whether or not it's true, if there's evidence for it, you got to accept responsibility, because those who accept responsibility, they gain the freedom of choice. So the way our minds work, as long as we are stuck in memories in the past, with excuses, with blame, with things that hold us back, as long as we allow ourselves to stay in that way, we'll hold ourselves back from discovering what we can become. And we don't know what we can become until we try. And so I encourage you to go inside, rid yourself of excuses and blame so that you can focus on what is present. And what is present within you, around you right now, today. If you are alive, you've been given the gift and the grace of the presence of life. And so today is what creates our future. What we learn today, what we do today affects our experience tomorrow. And so if we can overcome individually, if we can become brutally honest with ourselves, admit our errors, admit our faults, if we can seek forgiveness and offer forgiveness of others, use some compassion with your honesty, inwards and outwards. We're all human. We're all figuring this out together. If we start being compassionate with ourselves, honest with each other, man, we're going to come together, build relationships, and relationships through communication, new ideas, ingenuity, and not desperation, not fear, not hate. Out of love and hope, we're going to build a new future together. But it requires brutal honesty. And it's actually much simpler than you think. That's the point I forgot. I realize I'm going on. It doesn't have to be a battle. It takes humility. It takes willingness. It takes care. All we need to do is care. You just got to convince yourself to care about the right things. Stop caring about opinions. Stop caring about debts. Stop caring about the rules that others have and expectations others have placed on you. Care about you, becoming you, discovering you, exploring you, and care about your future. Because we're all going to have to come together if we're going to make a better one. So, anyway, some new thoughts from out in the cold from me to you. choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who tunes in and do the algorithm thing, I guess, until something changes. God bless. Peace. Oops. What am I doing? Now I'm leaving. God bless. Thanks, brothers.